stands in opposition to what he's doing. We are resistors. And we resist the devil, and he flees from us. And so I want you to get that concept. Okay? We're going to regene the church. We're going to make it differently. And then when we begin our plan, it's going to be done through the church. We're going to change their doctrines. We're going to change their idea. We're going to change who they think God is and how you can approach Him. That's what we're going to do. All of these talked about. Now we're going to skip forward a little bit. We talked about Blavatsky and Bailey, and man, we could talk about others. We talked about Crowley. Let's skip forward a little bit. Let's come up to the time now that we're living. You remember in the 60s, okay? Everybody was growing their hair long. Everybody was taking their clothes off. It was the hippie generation, the free love. Drugs were... There was a paradigm shift took place in the 60s. I can kind of pin it down to 1963. You have JFK being killed. You have the initiation ceremony of the fallen angel Lucifer in the Vatican, 1963. You have other things that... If you go back to 1960, boy, you can really see that the world just changed all of a sudden. And now the New Age movement is sort of coming to the surface. People are being educated. People are being sucked in. It started out with the hippies. It started out with the intellectuals in the colleges. It started out with people who really were burnt out on institutionalized Christianity, and they embraced, the occult, astrology, witchcraft, card reading, necromancy. I mean, they were embracing all of these weird things, crystals, and all of this stuff was going on back then. Then there was a group, you remember, the fifth dimension, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, singing a song called This is the Dawning of the Age of Aquarius. Now that refers to, here we go, a sign in the zodiac. You remember the 12, the constellations, the stars, the evil angels that now want to bring us into a new age of enlightenment. It goes to we were in the Piscean age according to them, and now we've shifted now to the Aquarian age. Aquarius is represented by someone who pours out water to flood or to cover, to bathe everybody in enlightenment they talk about. But remember, all these symbols can be seen in the Bible. So here we have Aquarius pouring out water. Water. What is that a picture of in the Bible? Jesus said, Matthew chapter 24, but as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and knew not until what? The flood came, and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. I think God is trying to send us a message here, letting us know that when we see this Aquarian conspiracy taking place, get ready, because it's just about time. A flood of iniquity is going to be poured out on planet Earth. God's flood of judgment is going to take over planet Earth once again. And it was marked by 1980, a book by a New Ager, Marilyn Ferguson, who wrote the book, The Aquarian Conspiracy. And I have a copy of that. And I've read through this book, and I found some really, really interesting things here. Marilyn Ferguson was a New Ager, and she was sitting down, and it's quite a lengthy volume. She sat down and she wrote out exactly, in her opinion, what the New Age was, what it had done in the past, what it was doing right now, that is, the 80s and 90s and so on, what it was going to do in the future. And she said, we have our people everywhere. We have New Agers in one form or another. We have them in just about every realm of life. I'll share with you some of the places that she mentioned that people have a New Age concept, and part of the Aquarian conspiracy. You don't believe in conspiracies? You got to believe in that one, okay? Because they say it's a conspiracy. And so does the Bible. She said we have our people everywhere. But I was reading through this book. I believe God led me to read this thing. And I started seeing terminology, phrases that she used back in 1979, 1980 when she wrote this thing, that I'm seeing this same terminology in the business realm. I'm seeing it in the realm of politics. But one of the interesting things is I'm seeing this in the church. Phrases like Reformation, synchronicity, Great Awakening. Rick Warren is all the time talking about, hey, we're fixing to get into another Great Awakening here. The video I did on contemplative prayer actually tells you that it's not an awakening. It's being put to slumber. That's where they're going. Okay? The Great Awakening, tuning in, transformation. How many things in this world are like transfer? We're going to transform this. Transformational healthcare bill. Transforming churches. Remember, they said we have to regenerate. We have to regenerate the churches. That's what a transformation is. Community, connectedness, entry point, paradigm shift, synergy, center point or cross point, guided imagery, imagination. Remember Jared Loughner. That's what he was doing by way of this lucid dreaming, or this conscious dreaming, was guided imagery, imagination, a convergence, and the elevation of man. These are the terms that I was reading that she was saying, these are like our terms, and I'm not going to tell you what they really mean. I don't know if she really knew what they meant or not. But she said, these are our terms, and pretty soon you're going to start seeing the way we talk. You're going to start hearing a lot of people talk this way, and you may not get it, but we do. We understand. You know, I've mentioned several times about regeneration, the genes, the DNA, the chromosomes, and all this stuff. And we have done countless things in this ministry concerning that, because I really think that's one of the key points to remember, is the transformation of man is going to be done on the DNA level. So we go back to the Aquarian conspiracy. Here's some things that she said in there. The mysteries we will explore are not remote from us, but ourselves. Our brains and bodies, the genetic code. She said that the mysteries of the Aquarian conspiracy had everything to do with man's genetic code, his DNA. Our own biology is the key. She says, Homo novus, a new human being. Get on your computer and type in, when you go to Google or whatever search engine you use, and type in Homo novus, or type in transhumanism, because that's exactly what she was talking about. Human metamorphosis. In other words, we're going to come out of our chrysalis and we're going to be transformed to be all these little new age butterflies everywhere. She said the chromosomes are splitting to go forward with a new pattern of life. And so at the core of the whole New Age movement, it has everything to do with a kingdom, Shambhala, that you have to go through in steps. By the way, let me deal with this, okay? In Bible Christianity, I believe in a transformation. Be ye not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. How does that take place? How is it that I can go from being a little dirtbag human being that's going to die and I'm all rotten and corrupt? How is it that I can go to be, as the Bible says, one of the sons of God? How can I do that? Well, the New Age movement, Masonry, the Catholic Church, all of these other groups will tell you that, oh, that has to be done in levels, in steps. You have to do this first, then you have to do this, then you have to do this, and then after that you have to do that, and then you're not done, you have to keep going. Whereas the Bible says, whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. You see, in the false religions like the New Age movement, you achieve this God state by going all these little subtle steps. It's a lot of work. And Bible Christianity says there's one step, and that is simply to call upon the name of the Lord and thou shalt be saved. I'm telling you, I like God's version better, because God's version elevates Jesus, not man.